Hello, this is Lauren, and we're live in central Vienna city. Today with us, we have Jazzmin Tutum. Sawubona, Jazzmin.
Sawubona, Lauren.
Unjani.
Nyaphila.
My sister from another mother. That was African Life Language Lesson 101. So how are you feeling, Jazzmin?
In general or just today before? I'm excited. I don't know. I'm just excited about it's already, well, we've already gone through January, and you can't believe that 2014 is already, we're into it. And a lot of really exciting things are happening at the moment. And I'm going to be at Vienna. We are in Vienna now, but I'm going to be at WUK tomorrow night performing with Double Standard and a lineup of really artists that I respect. So I'm really psyched, Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's wonderful. Well, we're anticipating seeing you on stage once again. It could only be Jazzmin Tutum representing females in poetry. You're amazing. Absolutely amazing. Jazzmin, your career to this point, what actually inspired you to follow in the role of a poet?
Well, I wrote my first poem when I was 7, and I was so into writing that poem. And my mom was really excited about it and got it somehow published in the newspaper. And I was 7 and writing a political poem. I don't know where that inspiration came from, but I just knew I had to write this poem. And it was titled Jamaica Will Change, because I was hearing all the adults around me going on about, this got to change, we got to do this government has to change. I've always heard a lot of adults around me talking, getting really excited about politics, and I always used to even wonder back then, so what are you guys doing? Like, all right, get up there, stand up and talk about it, So, yeah, so it's been a while interested in poetry and expressing myself that way. Hmm?
I think you've made a very big impact on everyone who actually listens to you, who just supports what you're doing. And even more so, you've been the lady who's been at the forefront of actually delivering a message that the average person is not able to do. And being, having traveled away from Jamaica and being in Germany, what would you say has been the inspiration behind your being in Europe and being in Jamaica?
Well, I kind of consider it as a bridge, I think I moved to Europe when I was old enough that I wasn't really looking to find a new personality. My personality was already built in, so it was always just then a way of how am I going to express who I am to these people who I'm now in contact with, a new culture, a new way of life, while still being integral, like, of course, I like where I'm living, and there's a lot of exchange going on. There are a lot of things that I can learn while being here in Germany or in Europe, and a lot of things that I know I can also teach and bring across to people from my culture. So it was really very, very important to have this communicative aspect to my poetry, whether it's communicating joy at being in love or communicating disappointment at not being able to be able to communicate. Yeah. Hmm?
And personal question, what does repatriation mean to you as a Jamaican?
Repatriation, I think repatriation is a state of mind. I think about the Zion Train album, State of Mind, but a lot of things that we want to make possible in our lives, we just have to fix ourselves in the right state of mind, and to live in the present, we can empower the future with having the right state of mind. And for Jamaicans, for Rastafari, for Marcus Garvey, this idea of repatriation or this back to Africa idea was just just to instill in the people's heads that we come from somewhere and we have somewhere that we can go back to, God willing, if it happens, you know. Of course, very few Jamaicans made it back to Africa. Most of them made it back to Liberia. But just to have this idea that a future, a tomorrow is possible with positivity, that's the state of mind, and that's for me repatriation, you know. Mm.
It's very deep, though. You know, there's so much going on in terms of world issues. We're facing troubles with the youth back in Africa, here in Europe, back in Jamaica. What would your message of inspiration to these young people be? I think I just got a word in my head, you know, bling. Bling. I wrote a poem at the time of the banlieue riots in Paris about, I guess it was maybe about 9 years ago now, yeah? And the poem was titled Goodbye to the City. I think this idea of city, that city is supposed to bring us some sort of comfort and supposed to give us the things we need. I think for the youth we should sort of forget about that idea. You know, you need different values than the city can offer. The city is there for you to consume anything at all cost. And yeah, that's my message to the youth, you know, find a different way of looking at your place in the city. The city is overwhelming. It will run you over. Think of your place within this city, and that's the building block, I guess. You released a CD. Tell us more about the inspiration that came about when you actually released your CD.
The inspiration that came to release a CD or to make the whole CD?
Make the whole CD.
Okay, well, the inspiration was a lot, just work. Work is the inspiration. And, you know, you say, wow, as a poet, I've done a body of work and I want to move on. I want to explore other ideas. But before I can explore other ideas, I'd like to kind of make a bundle, you know, put a knot around this and say, okay, these 14 poems deal with certain issues, and yeah, let me move on now. To sharing the flame of excitement, sharing the flame of knowledge, excitement about new ideas, excitement of saying, hey, wow, this is how I see something. Can I bring the light to you and show you, you know, how I see it? Maybe you're going to see it the same way too, you know. And also with a lot of musicians or poets in the dub community or in the Rasta community or the world community, the universal community, you know, just that we have something to share with each other. Mm-hmm.
And in terms of a role model, who are your role models in poetry?
My role models in poetry, I think a lot of role models are the role models can only be the people you meet, you know. I think sometimes, for me anyway, it's the people I meet face to face and I say, wow, you know, this person looks at me, I have a connection with this person, I'm listening to their words and they're telling me something that it seems familiar, even though they're not my words, but I can link with this. And this is what happened a lot when I met Linton Kwesi Johnson. I don't know how to say role model. I'm not sure about this word, but he inspired me. I had a great respect for this man as he sat there and talked to me about his work as a dub poet over the years. And yeah, that shared the flame, you know, he shared the flame.
And who are you inspired to work with in future?
For me, I'm inspired to work with musicians, more and more people exploring bass sounds. For me, bass is a place. Corny, no? But yeah, you know, and I find a lot of words, a lot of rhythmic patterns come out of music and bass music. So I'm interested in working with musicians, whether it's in the field of dub music or sound system, jazz musicians. I'm interested in doing a lot of collaborations in this way. Yeah.
That'd be great. Well,
stay tuned, it's coming.
That would be something that we'd definitely be looking forward to, a new CD. And what will we be expecting from you in future?
You will be expecting this year. I wrote and performed solo in 2 theater pieces. Just also making the poetry more visible, you know, because I'm always working within this language barrier or this bridge of language. So, you know, taking the words into different areas, whether it's music or theater. But what to expect from me this year? More collaborations, more experimental work, but where the dub vocalizations are still there, and I'm still representing dub poetry. You know, I can go all the way, all around the place with poetry, but I give respect to dub poetry and the forefathers, Louise Bennett, or Muta Baruch, or Oko Onora, or Linton Kwesi Johnson, or Jean Binta Breeze, Lillian Allen, these people who were the foundation of this poetry form, you know. And I know a number of dub poets usually say, some have said, you know, oh, well, you know, I want to develop a new thing. It's not really dub poetry anymore. I will always call what I do dub poetry. That's the basis, yeah, okay. But I do have a way that I say, okay, I'm performing spheric dub, which is because the words start to flow in with the music, and it's not just word and bass, but there are other musical elements that come in as well. Electronic elements, for example, or a violin. So yeah, I'm gonna keep the secret though until.
So we will definitely be looking out and hearing what's to come from you next. I'm actually so excited right now. I'm getting nervous and excited at the same time. Just listening to you even speak.
Hey, thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak and just to also condense my ideas and just say, hey, you know, this is what I would like to do and share. And
well, what I'd like to know from you is that when will you be visiting Africa?
I was in Africa in November last year. I don't know if you know this, but my father is from French West Africa, a country called Gabon. It's on the equator, second largest equatorial forest in the world, next to Brazil, the Amazon. So apart, yeah. Future visits, I hope soon. I want my children to visit Africa, and so I'll be going soon. Yeah.
Or rather, let me just be specific. When are you visiting South Africa?
Hey, whenever I get the invite, I am there. Zoom.
Well, I suppose, me not being back home, you'd be welcome with open arms, because poetry is loved in South Africa. I
have heard it. I've been so touched by so many spoken word artists. I don't have exact names, you know, but just South Africa in terms of, like we were talking about Serafina, this theater piece that traveled all over the world. I got the chance to see it in Canada in the 90s, and just the expressivity of South African language or people and body and dance. Midede, like we say in Jamaican. Yeah, I'm there.
Well, Jazzmin, we from African Life would like to say thank you so much for affording us this opportunity to interview you. It's been amazing.
Thank you for having me. Thank you so much. Thank you for taking the time and for your support. Always needed and welcome. Thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you very much. African Life, and we're out.